Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Friday, October 18th. We just lost against this deck and I'm sticking with decks that win and then moving on in a cycle to decks that don't win. I'm still completely confused on what I should craft with my cards, but I think I probably need to craft land cards and maybe Eldraine Classic uncolored cards. Like, that might be something else to do. I should possibly be playing on regular play mode, but I don't really want to do that if I want to get victories. Right now I'm really trying to get up in ranked ladder for this first month, trying to start off on the best first starter foot, best foot forward mentality. Meanwhile, we have finally, for this week, quite a bit of news still, even though this is the third recording of today's stream. Probably the last recording of today's stream, even if I do have a little bit of news left over. So let's just hop into it right now. TechRaptor has an article here. World of Warcraft Classic Dire Maul has arrived. With people boycotting Activision Blizzard, I don't know how many people really care about World of Warcraft updates, but I suppose it is somewhat news that has to be mentioned, even if it is going to be proliferate. Interesting. Choose any number of permanents and or players and give them another counter of each kind they already have. Wow, that sounds like that's a great card to play at the right time. This one's probably not the card we want to play. We probably want to play that and just end our turn here. You run into this problem in Magic a lot of times where it's like the first 4 turns for each player is just set up. You might as well, I think, have the Hearthstone system if you're going to do that. Well, it feels like in Hearthstone they have more low-level card characters, where Magic is way more interested in selling you cards that are legendary and really expensive. So play that. Let's see. Whenever one or more is put on Shadow Cab, tap target creature on opponent controls. A creature doesn't untap until his next untap step. Interesting. Or do we want Trample? Hydra. I don't think we want Hydra out on the field yet. Enters the battlefield with X plus double 1/1 counters. Double the amount of 1/1 counters he has. This one enters if you control another creature with 1/1 counter on it, draw a card, adapt. 1/1 till the end of the turn, doesn't seem like that would help much. Let's pay 2 life and hope that's not a mistake. Interesting. Let's see, can I play this and play this? I don't think so. It's just not attack. Moving on, TechRaptor has an article here. Stellaris Federations may have been leaked via Good Old Games. So, the next expansion, apparently, maybe it was leaked. If you play Stellaris or even know what it is, I, off the top of my head, couldn't even tell you what it is. Let's see. One or both. Okay. This. +1/+1. Return that to my hand. And then. Do that. I think I did something wrong there. I don't know what though. Creature loses all abilities and base power of 1/1. Okay. So he lost his abilities. Okay. Start with just a attack. So I should have put the 1/1 counter here. Trying to learn this, and as long as I'm trying to learn, I'm gonna have problems. So this one can adapt and put a 1/1 on it, which then lets him do that, which then lets me do this, which does that. Which then lets me do that. Then I can attack. I'm trying really hard here, because like the strategy here is to get a bunch of 1/1 tokens, obviously, then play this to double, then play this to double again. Next. Now, do we want to attack? We can attack with that, I guess. And that. I may just win here. I may just win before I can even do what I'm trying to do. This one has trample. This one has trample fight. Okay. Let's see. Gamma Sutra has an article here. Downscaling, upscaling, same scaling, pointing to the Switch and underpowered consoles. This is a blog, I suppose, about porting games to the Switch. If you're interested in that, or interested in programming or porting a game to the Switch or other underpowered consoles. There's this new game on the Epic Store, and I don't want to promote the Epic Store, but Manifold Garden looks very interesting. It looks a lot like a black and white non-Euclidean, that's a big word to use, a black and white puzzle game called Antichamber. Yeah, that's the name of it. It looks like they're taking some of the concepts of Antichamber and going in a slightly different way. So once that comes to Steam, I think I'll be interested in it. Activated abilities of control cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the amount to less than 1 mana though. Right. So adopt. Everybody gets trample. Let's see. Do that. And resolve, and then what other abilities do we want? There. Adopt. And then can we adapt that ability too? I don't think we can. We can't afford that one. But we can adapt again. And then we can attack. Shouldn't have attacked there. Well, I hope I survive this next turn, but come to look at it, maybe I won't. Yeah. Oops. That's a big oopsie. It's like all I can do is that. That's a problem with a lot of games though. Too focused on playing your own strategy to realize what's going on right in front of your face. Because if I had seen what was going on, I would have obviously played differently. Or I would have at least tried. Moving on to the next deck. Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam here called Runster, which looks like it's an exercising game tied into some kind of tracker, which works with like a smartphone somehow. I guess the smartphone recognizes movement, and so it can catch that you're bouncing up and down. Immediately, this is an incredibly stupid idea. You're going to drop your smartphone as soon as your hand gets sweaty. That's why people who run with their smartphone often have it on an armband or around their neck or something that can't just fall down and break. This is early access, try for free, but then $14.99 English and Thai. And yeah, I would imagine the Thai company thought that was a smart idea, but they didn't think things through. Let's see, what do we need to do? I could play this to put this on the field. So, pay 2 life so I can play this the first turn. But how important is it to really play the first turn in this game? I don't know. Creatures Create a green 2/2 slime and a white elf creature token. Create a green 2/2 green and white elf knight creature token. Okay. I'll watch that. Techraptor has an article here. Minecraft Earth Early Access launches in New Zealand and Iceland, which I imagine are pretty small countries, which makes it a good place to test an augmented reality game that supposedly saves everybody's Minecraft build in this augmented reality for the entire world. Heal. We have a trample and a vigilance, but we shouldn't attack at all because we would just kill that character. Lifesteal, lifelink. Where's this ability? Great. Let's see. Trample until the end of the turn. And then do nothing with it. Yeah, that wasn't useful. Let's see. We've got to play that, so we can play this next turn. We need 5 land, and we don't have that. So, next, go ahead and attack there. Next. Just in turn. See, next we have a game on Steam called Move, which seems like you're trying to herd a giant cow? Is that all you're really doing? Kind of a simplistic, they say it's a puzzle game. A simplistic game where you're herding one giant cow, or you're herding several things. I don't know. I don't know if this is a game I'd want to play or not. It's an interesting idea. You certainly don't often run into a scenario where you're herding things. So there might be a game there. Let's see. Move is $3.19 discounted, English only. I'll put it on the follow list and see if perhaps people find something they love in it. But certainly I could see that it actually wouldn't be very interesting to most people. Okay. Then we have trample, which we could do, but we don't need to. Again, I'll just attack with that. Get 1 health back. Come over here in the turn. Game of Sutra has an article here. Capcom plans to revive dormant IP as Resident Evil Monster Hunter take off. The good and the bad news here, though, is really just going to be in your faith as far as Capcom doing it right. Because while Resident Evil 7 was an experiment that succeeded, Resident Evil 2 Remake was an experiment that succeeded, They also released a Resident Evil game that I think a lot of people are forgetting came out after the RE2 remake, and they, I don't think, really have done enough to give me confidence that we could, if we attack with this, he'll just defend. If we attack with this and this, he'll just defend. So all I can really do is attack with that, and then in the turn. The most recent Switch ports of Resident Evil 6 and 7 still suck completely and run terribly, according to the Foundry. So I really don't have 100% faith that they're going to make every game with care and caution if they start remaking a bunch of their old IPs. It's a good idea, certainly, and they're kind of in a position where Square Enix isn't a big competitor in particular, so it's kind of a good time to be doing something like this. But Capcom has to be committed to quality, and I'm not sure they are. Give it a couple more years. On the other hand, if they fix the Resident Evil games so they ran on Windows 10, that would be nice. Okay. Can this guy do these other things? I should have done that first. That was dumb. I should have created that, then this would have been an 8-8. There really is a lot of stuff that Capcom could fix and try to re-release some of their games, fix the Resident Evil series in general, just it alone. But yeah, I'm not, again, still not sure. For each attacking creature you own. Right, so do this, and then can't do anything else. Next. Attack here. The vigilance. Attack here, attack here, attack here, attack here. 5 attackers. Then can I play this instant now? Let me play this instant. I should be able to play this. Come on. Come on, come on. Alright, well, moving on, we have an article here from Komatsu for smartphones. Utawaru Mono, Prelude to the Fallen, Mask of Deception, and Mask of Truth are now available for smartphones as free visual novels in Japan. So, that's a new twist. If we start seeing visual novels going to the cell phone side, it'd be a little weird, to say the least, but it would be something different, and it would explain why a lot of visual novels are potentially abandoning the PlayStation because of the censorship problems that Sony PlayStation started introducing. I guess that would be a way around that. And I think you can get as much health as you want, so let's see. Creatures you control get +2/+2. Search your library. There we go. +2/+2. Creatures you control get trample. All attack, sure. Now I don't think trample does anything if the guy has more toughness. So I got Planeswalker on the field. Meanwhile, there's the one guy with lifelink who can block. He can do a ton of damage if he wants.
I am all I need.
How did he just get 30 health back? Let's see. I don't know what just happened there. I don't know how he just got to 30 health. I was doing well, and then now I'm not. Now I can't really do anything. You just turned the game on me. Anyways, Tech Raptor has another corner here. Anthem gets spooky skeletons for Halloween, or spook skeletons for Halloween. Although I don't think anybody's playing Anthem, so there's going to be a lot of these articles, I suppose, of just games that have Halloween events that people may not care about. Right. 18 block, 17 block. Let those through, I guess. You got like 71. It's got 71 health. How is he doing that? Let's see. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on this guy. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter. Put a loyalty counter on target creature. Death touch life lock. As long as it's your turn, creatures and planeswalkers you control have lifelink. So every creature has lifelink. I guess maybe that's how that's working. Let's see. Well, I'm about to lose, so let's just move on with the news. Gamma Sutra, the Nintendo has sold over 15 million Switch systems in North America. Seems like that's a big number, where 3 million sales for any individual game is a big number. 5 times that would be about right. Like the idea that the average Switch owner would have potentially 5 games makes some sense. Hmm. 151 points. I just want to see how big this gets at this point. Let's see. Auto pay. And then summon another character. And then apparently I don't have enough to do that, so next. And no attacks. I just want to see how big this gets in turn. So keep your eye on this number to see. We'll see if maybe it hits 256 and locks up at that point. I don't know why it would. It should be able to go as high as it wants, or at least a lot higher than 255, which would be the biggest 8-bit number you could have in binary.
The weak beat the strong.
Just resolve all. Just auto pass. No blocks. 156, 194, 218, 283. Negative 128 damage. So if you were getting some kind of experience for the amount of damage you dealt, that would have been a great game. But it doesn't seem like they encourage that style of gameplay. Which, let's face it, doing a massive amount of damage might be fun and funny, but it also is a little bit unprofessional, unsportsmanlike. Let's see. Next we have a game on Steam here called Driven Out. It looks like it's kind of a Castlevania clone. Where you play with a sword. Now the problem I see here is I kind of like the graphics, but I don't see a video. Okay, here's a video. Didn't want to go there. So it seems like this is almost like a Dark Souls game. Feels almost like Prince of Persia, and it looks like it plays about as smooth as Prince of Persia too. You get knocked back way too far, which would just slow you down. Yeah, I don't like the way this looks. $13.49 discounted, English and Korean. I'm gonna say a pass on this one. It just does not look like it plays well. Maybe if I learned the mulligan once in a while, I would be able to win once in a while. Let's see. If I put this on the field. Let's see. Next we have clearly a low effort game called Mad Cow Balls 2, which looks like it's just a Arkanoid clone with terrible graphics that seem to jump between being 4:3 ratio and 16:9. $4.99, English full audio, yeah right. The music in MTG Arena just seems to come in and go at its own pace, which is fine, but it seems like it does kind of take a little bit longer than I would think it should. And I'm starting to get particularly uncomfortable. I've been sitting way too long. Right. I want 1/1 or haste. Let's do 1/1. Next we have a game on Steam, Ice Age Scrat's Nutty Adventure. Weird that there would be an Ice Age game coming out on Steam right now. I can only assume that this is a port of something that was an Xbox Live Arcade game or something. I'm fairly certain there's been an Ice Age game or two. $39.99. I'll put it on the follow list, but That is way too expensive. No discount at all. Bunch of language support, full audio for English. Ice Age is probably approaching a decade old at this point. So I don't know. Creature spells you control can't be countered. Non-token creatures you control have riot. Interesting. Don't want to attack. Not really. It won't do anything helpful. I'm set up nice here, but I need a card. Don't want to defend against the death touch. No. Can't be blocked by creature tokens. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Haste. Yeah. Wow. And while we're at it, we'll just kill that too. And then attack that. See, Gamma Sutra has an article here. Get a job. The Pokemon Company is hiring a software engineer, which means that the Pokemon Company is actually working towards the development of some new game. For better or for worse, I guess if they get a new engineer, maybe the Pokemon games will start seeing some improvements and new features. Let's see. 2 damage to target creature, you gain 2 life. Let's see. I guess we'll just resolve that. And pass. Next we have Felix the Reaper on Steam. We'd already kind of looked at this. Seems like it's a puzzle game where you have to walk in the shadows and orient the sun to avoid walking in the sunlight. You're walking in the shadows. We're already following this. It's $24.99, which seems pretty expensive. English full audio in a bunch of languages supported. Yeah, I'll be surprised to see. Felix the Reaper is kind of the prime example of a game that I need to see somebody else's review on before I could make a decision. Haste. And then play this. And then let's see. Do I have enough mana? Target land you control becomes a 4/4 elemental until the end of the turn. It's still land. Right. There we go. Bring that red. Auto pay. With haste. And then all attack. So I can just use this guy to bring lands and make them 4/4s with haste because of this giving. No, this makes it. This gives it haste. This gives it riot. So we're in a really good position. Okay, so use this ability again, pull a red, because that would be the right move, auto pay, and then go ahead and just attack here, and attack here, and attack here, I guess. You take your pick. What you want to, like, creatures. Well, that managed to kill one of my lands. Interesting. I didn't realize that that would work that way, but I guess that makes sense. Can't do that, so we'll do this. Give me, I guess, a green auto pay and attack. Don't attack with that one, no. There's no point. I'm nowhere close to being able to play this, however. Can't be blocked by more than one creature. Sounds good to me. Give it haste. So you block there. Can't be blocked this turn at all. That can't block. Not can't. It didn't say can't be blocked. It says can't block. Alright, moving on. We have a game on Steam here that's a bunch of Japanese letters. Hanabi the Witch. What kind of game is this? It's a platformer game. It looks like it might have a little bit more visual polish to it than your standard platforming game. It's definitely a different animation style, and maybe I'm just a Japanophile, and that's what I'm saying here. It seems like you're playing as a squirrel, which maybe you're a witch that got turned into a squirrel, and that's cutesy, to say the least. I would put this on the follow list. Unfortunately, English language is not supported. $13.99, Japanese only, 7 achievements. Looks super cutesy. I almost want to think if I could just maybe work my way through this game without reading Japanese, but no, that's a mistake. I've got better things to do with my time than try to play a game that doesn't have a translation in it. We've got 4 victories now, so I get a new card. And frankly, every single new card is very much appreciated. The developer of this game has only made this one game, although they've been calling it Amagari no Hanabi, which I assume Amagari is witch in Japanese. No means the, or basically it means the. I suppose that's the best way to put it. Let's just play this. That's the right move, oddly. So if they are changing the name, maybe they're in the process of translating the English. But why would you put it out if it wasn't translated to English? Well, I don't know. It's a shame. I kind of hope that Hanabi the Witch at some point does get English translated into it, but then I don't think there would be a way that I'd ever even get that message if that were to happen. I just look at games when they come out. I don't have a way of seeing games when they make major updates. attack. Hopefully haste is worth more than the +1/+1. Next we have Paper Shakespeare Modern Warfare. This is a troll game, I'm pretty sure, because we've seen many Paper Shakespeare games come out. There's a whole series of them. They're all low effort games. $2.99, English only. 11 achievements, yeah. Maybe they think they're doing something interesting here by making low effort imagery and then basically stealing Shakespeare, which is public domain, so it really can't be stolen. But personally, I don't buy it. Let's take haste again. Attack. Right. Colored spells you control can't be countered. Creature spells non-token creatures control have. Right. Target creature gets +3/+3 until the end of the turn. Which one was this? Whenever this one attacks, target creature and opponent can't block this turn. Alright, so we want to attack with this and this, and then we're hoping this ability activates, and then there's kind of not a good reason to buff up right now, but so let's just kind of leave it. Let's see, next we have a game on Steam called Alchemy Garden. Looks like it's a gardening game in an open world environment. The concept sounds pretty boring, and the graphics look low polygon. It looks too much like a Minecraft clone. Yeah, I just don't think that there's a full game here. If you wanted an Alchemy Garden, frankly, you could probably just play Skyrim as a wizard and head up to the Wizard College, and once you've done that storyline in which you've joined the college, you're pretty much good to have an Alchemy Garden, or getting any kind of house. Probably one of the bigger houses you build could also be designed as an Alchemy Garden. An Alchemy Garden, I assume, being a garden with a lot of alchemy ingredients in it. Let's just let this guy do his thing. Do I want something more on the field? I guess I do. Haste. And all attack. And that one block. And then we just smash him some more. Gamma Sutra has a blog here, Red Thread Games Methods for Story-Centric Game Design, which is interesting, but I have no idea who Red Thread Games is. Is this even a modern article? Yeah. Successful games were Dreamfall Chapters and Drawgone, which I've heard of Dreamfall Chapters. I'm not even sure if that's the good Dreamfall game, though. Let's see. Can't be blocked by creatures. Creature tokens. Can't be blocked by more than one character. Target creature. Haste. Haste on that. Next we have a game on Steam here called Elite Escape, which seems like a series of escape rooms in VR, which kind of at this point I don't know if I want any VR games at all. And these don't really strike me as interesting escape rooms because they kind of have this sci-fi feeling to them. Right. We can do this. We've got trample. We can do this. Alright. Next. Next. All attack. Play. He's gonna block. I'm going to now do this. And do this. And that's gonna win the game. Elite Escape here is $3.59 discounted. It's English with full audio. Be nice if we made it above gold tier level 4 by the end of this recording, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't make it that far. Let's see. Gamma Sutra has a blog here. Unity UI, the Guru's UI development diagram. This is another thing from the Game Dev Guru's blog. A person I've never heard of. Is this even a modern story? Yeah. Unity UI development diagram. Well, this seems very inside baseball as far as programming in Unity. Where are all the cards? Feels like we have a disconnect situation going on. Gamma Sutra is getting pretty bad about putting out a bunch of blog things and a bunch of development things, and I'm not sure that they're really putting out any news stories that I even care about anymore. So they probably are the... Yeah, they most definitely are the one on the chopping block. Okay. Yeah, I like this. Next we have a game on Steam called The Chronicles of Joseph of Egypt, which is just a match 3 game with a biblical title around it and maybe some biblical story around it. Not anything that looks interesting to me. $3.39 discounted, English, French, and German. Says it has English full audio. I'm not even sure if you would make the argument that the Joseph of the Bible is of Egypt. I'm fairly certain that he isn't, that he was born in a different country and was exiled to Egypt when his brothers betrayed him and sold him as a slave. Yeah, that's how the story goes. So him being referred to of Egypt is not even accurate, for whatever that matters. Next we have a game on Steam here called The Last Companion. Looks like a visual novel. Looks pretty nicely animated. Let's go through the screenshots. Seems to mostly be focused around one specific character only, so this might be one of those Chinese visual novels, but who knows. English is not supported, unfortunately. 20% off for $1.59 tells me it's probably a low effort, extremely short game. Yep, and it is Chinese only, full audio. The Last Companion, 6 event CG, so, and a screenplay of 35,000 words. So it's mostly 100% text. Let's play this. But I will have to applaud The Last Companion for being a good looking visual novel, even if it is by the other metrics probably extremely lacking. Next we have a game on Steam here called Pamp Quest, which looks like a low effort first person shooter game that suffers from dark screenshot syndrome, which is not something I've even had to say in the past week too often. And yep, looks uninteresting. Early access, $4.49 discounted, English only, 51 achievements. It's clearly an achievement game. Don't block. Go ahead and pass. There. Well, if you were excited about Stadia and its new wireless controller, that excitement should disappear. Stadia's wireless controllers needs a cord to play on everything but the TV at launch. Apparently their hardware programming is so incomplete that they can't have it transmitting on Bluetooth or whatever other protocols it needed to be transmitting on. And so you're gonna be left with playing it plugged in. It's questionable if the original Stadia controllers would even be hardware reprogrammable to work with so many different things, because the Stadia controller was supposed to be able to work with a PC, which would mean the PC would either have to have a Bluetooth dongle, which compatibility there would have been a nightmare, or it's supposed to just work with Wi-Fi on everything, and apparently it doesn't do that either. If you're using the older Microsoft controllers, you're using a different connection standard. If you're using if you're connecting trying to connect to like a PlayStation, although I don't know if the Stadia controller works on a PlayStation. Yeah, there's a lot of questions there. I don't even know. Let's go ahead and put that on the field. I think that's the right move. Let's see. Alright, 1-1 counter or haste? I'm gonna go with a 1-1 counter this time. And then 1-1 counter again, I guess. They're saying the decision to limit it to only work on TVs wirelessly is to make sure everything works at the beginning. Well, how about not release Stadia in beta format in the first place to make sure everything works at the start? That would be an argument I would make. There's no attacks here. Gamma Sutra has an article here, how Crows launches games multiple times to maximum marketing impact. I don't think anybody would like that if that became industry standard. Crows is a game I've heard of, but I'm not sure what games they released. Let's see. And it doesn't seem like this article even talks about that. So this feels like it's a Gamma Sutra blog about a terrible business practice that everybody hates, which is flooding the Steam market because you're releasing games multiple times in a way you're not supposed to be allowed to do. Moving on, Gamatsu has an article for the Switch. Hatsune Miku, Project Diva Megamix, How to Play trailer, and 91 returning songs have been announced. So, yeah. Not sure this game is going to actually make it to the West, but that's a lot of songs. Let's see. Does this have a flying? No. There's haste. 1/1 counter. Attack. Here. Is there anything I want to do? Let's see. Do I want to discard a card to draw a card? Sure. Discard a card to draw a card. Next we have a game on Steam here called Sword Radio, which looks like a low effort top-down twin stick shooter. Early access, $4.24, English full audio. Nothing here impressive enough to even make me want to spend another 5 seconds on it. Next we have a game on Steam called The Last Sunshine, which looks like a low effort platformer. Looks like a student project. Looks terrible. $3.99 discounted, English, Japanese, and Chinese. This seems like another low effort Chinese game. See, I can see the beginning of the end, but frankly, maybe we could play one more game and that's gonna be it. Gamatsu has Hatsune Miku smartphone game project set card presentation set for October 23rd, which I believe this might be a different Hatsune Miku game. Wouldn't be surprised if they're releasing 2 or 3 in a year. Alright, we lost, so let's swap out to the next deck. Let's see. Major Nelson has the tweet out for Doodle Games Collector's Bundle is now available for Xbox One. If you like the Doodle games, honestly, I think they are overpushed and overpublished and not that good of games. They're kind of interesting for about an hour, but the first time you play one, that's pretty much it. Like by the time you played one, you've played them all. Also for Xbox One, we have Driven Out, which is the game I looked at. That looked not very good, and boy does this cover look completely different from what the game looked like. I should have played this, actually, come to think of it. Next intern. Next we have a game on Steam here called Zunius, which is a low-effort MS Paint side-scrolling shooter. $13.99 is a joke. English full audio with 8 achievements. Yep. Nothing there. Okay. So we gotta do that. And then just pass the turn, and mostly just auto pass this turn also. Let's see. Gamatsu has an article here. Skullgirl's second encore for Xbox One has been postponed indefinitely. Publisher cites unforeseen development and production challenges. Okay, that's a little surprising. The Switch version launches on October 22nd, and the game is already available for the PS4, Vita, and PC. And that is strange. Super bizarre. Spectacle skewer the critics deal. 3. Right. Let's go and play this. Play that. One of the games, I don't remember the name of it. I think it's Mirage of Fate might be the name of it, that is coming to Japan, is the Western version. It was censored. I believe it's a visual novel. So this is a weird case on the Switch from Nintendo of reverse censorship. The Western version being censored, and then a remaster remake of the Western version being sold to the Japanese audience, and Nintendo had to apologize for it because people were not happy. Let's do that. And let's do that. And let's go ahead and just attack here. Next from Gamatsu, we have a Switch article here. Revere Dune Manage launches January 30th, 2020 in Japan. Circus-themed otome visual novel. So it's a circus-themed young maidens visual novel. Interesting. So just that main thing, I guess, to say. The developers of Lego games, TT Games, is hiring. They don't hire very often. They're looking for a junior designer, a senior designer, resource apprentice, lead game programmer, 3D generalist artist, generalist being an odd job title to ever use, a technical assistant, a mechanics DevOps programmer, a junior visual FX artist, a gameplay designer, junior and mid-level game programmers, performance engineers, senior level lead gameplay designers, VFX artists, and senior tools programmers. So if I was to guess, they're ramping up to make something new. Either they got a new license to make a new unexpected Lego game, or exile 2 cards to your library until the end of your next turn. You can now play you may now play those cards. Let's see how that works. So play that, and then we can't play that. Let's see. And then I can only do this. Or let's see. What's this ability? Oh, seriously? What did I just do? +2, -2. Oh. killed my own character. Yeah, I can only assume TT Games is ramping up. The only other assumption you can make is that they somehow fired their employees and now need to desperately replace a bunch. Let's see. 2 damage to the opponent and 2 damage to one target creature. Okay. And 1 damage. Yeah, I could only do 1 damage more, so I can't do anything. Gamatsu has an article here. Juicy Realm for Switch launches November 7th. What is Juicy Realm? A roguelike twin-stick shooter. Interesting. Let's see if we can get a general idea of what it looks like in gameplay. Seems to feel a lot like Nuclear Throne. I'm not sure how many of these I would want to play. Although Juicy Realm does seem like it kind of is more kid-friendly, so maybe it's a little bit easier. I still don't know why I would want to play a roguelite twin-stick shooter, though. That would be the question, I suppose. Let's see, Gamatsu has an article here for the Switch. Obakidoro Physical Edition launches December 19th in Japan. This is, I believe, that hide and seek game. Asymmetric multiplayer game currently available digitally worldwide. So a physical edition for Switch. They're testing. Alright, let's see. Let's go ahead and auto pass.
Magnificent!
Next, we have a game on Steam here called Killjoy Hunter Yuko, which looks like a platformer game from Manga Gamer, which Manga Gamer can be up and down with its quality. This probably is a side game for something else. Yeah, EF the First Tale. This is probably a side game. It's $2.69. It's Japanese full audio, it's English. The question would be EF the First Tale, as far as whether that's a game anybody's interested in. And this is I just lost, by the way. You just got too much power on me. So let's just cover the news for the rest of this, because I don't feel like playing another game and trying to talk while playing another game. So EF the First Tale, all ages, is a visual novel, although it's still tagged with sexual content, because I'm sure there's some patch. Although Manga Gamer, I believe, is the developer that is making it difficult, if not impossible, to get the uncensored patch. If you buy the Steam version, they want you to go to their website. $25.49. It's positive right now, but that certainly is a big ask for visual novels. Of course, then the issue for the all ages version would be perfect to cover on YouTube, so take that for what it is also. And the sequel to that game is EF the Latter Tale, all ages, so they're kind of double dipping here, selling a second game. The animation looks good, but it's not 16:9, so this game might be a little bit older, or maybe they're just sticking to 16:9 for some weird reason. This is $29.74, full audio, and again, tagged with sexual content, although this is the all ages version. So then, if you enjoyed both of those and wanted to spend even more money, then there's this side game for $2.69, which, in all honesty, I don't think even really should be on the follow list, because the only reason I would buy this is if I bought the other two things, and the odds of me buying the two other things are still pretty low. So I'm just going to leave this side game off the consideration list, the follow list, until I decide what to do with the other games, which I probably wouldn't want to cover any of the manga gamer games. They're not the best visual novels, and if I am going to cover visual novels, I only want to cover like the top 10 that ever existed. Next, Tech Raptor has an article. Sega Ages brings Ichidant R and Columns 2 to the West for the first time. I guess this is Columns 2. And I guess this is Ichidant R. Can we perhaps see what it is? Some kind of arcade game of some sort. You're jumping out of windows, playing a bunch of mini games, it looks like. A wacky minigame collection that was only available in arcades. Okay. Interesting. Slightly interesting from a historical perspective. Here's one that seems to have come out of nowhere. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Complete Edition is rated very positively. Apparently, already it's definitely going on the fall list, although frankly I should probably just put it on the wish list. It's a Digimon game, $49.99, requires third-party EULA, single player with online multiplayer, and the Digimon Cyber Sleuth series, I think, is either the most recent Digimon cartoon season or very close to the most recent one. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not the most recent one, if they've got a complete edition here. The real question, I guess, to ask is, was there another Digimon game that wasn't a complete edition that they took off of sale, or was this the first release on Steam? I would also say these characters are definitely not season 1 looking Digimon or season 1 looking kids. That video here, like this guy totally does not look, these characters don't look anything like the animation style of season 1 Digimon. But I suppose it had to evolve in some way, but they also still seem to be pretty old looking too. They look like they're very possibly straight up college kids. Which, okay, I guess that's one way to do it. I suppose anybody who's still interested in Digimon these days probably is closer to college age than they are the middle school, high school level that the kids in season 1 were. Next, we have a Tech Raptor article. Stone Shard has been delayed into early next year. I have no idea what Stone Shard is. It looks like a top-down resource management game, so no interest there. I think I need to mention, though, not a professional image to take. If you're going to put a picture of your author up there and you're going to take a picture, put something more professional than that. Not a wacky picture. In fact, you probably should put them in suits and make them look very presentable. Alright, I've got some stories here that are duplicates. Tech Raptor has an article here. Quick understanding for block extrusion, or Cube 2, and Layers of Fear are the next free games at the Epic Games Store. I own both of these, but Heck, might as well get a backup. Cube 2, by the way, way better than Cube 1, but I think you still probably would want to play Cube 1 before you play Cube 2. Layers of Fear, a walking simulator that was overhyped, not really, in my opinion, worth playing. A horror game that is just a walking simulator. Well, it does have some multiple endings. The odds are you wouldn't want to play the game twice to find different endings. Next, we have a game on Steam here called 1812, The Napoleon War, which looks like a real-time strategy game that's not very interesting or polished. $5.24 discounted. Several languages here. Yeah, nothing there. Let's see. Really wish the music would just always play. Already talked about that. TechRaptor has an article here if it wants to load. Modern Warfare adopts battle passes instead of loot boxes. So this is an example of Activision, amongst all of the Activision Blizzard shenanigans going on, having to adopt at least some better stance in the midst of them potentially getting legislated out of existence. They say no loot boxes will be added after release. All new base weapons and function attachments will be earned via gameplay. I'm not sure you should believe them, though. And even if you should believe them, I'm still not sure why you wouldn't want to just boycott Activision Blizzard right about now. So I don't think too many people should be hyped about Call of Duty Modern Warfare. TechRaptor has the same article I talked about earlier. Manifold Garden is releasing later this week with its mind-bending, anti-chamber-esque puzzle gameplay, it looks like. Gamasuchi has a sponsored article, so I'm not even going to mention it, because why would I mention sponsored articles? Let's see. OBS maybe has a brand new version again. Seems like that happens too often and isn't really video game news, so we shouldn't mention that. TechRaptor has an article here. Munchkin Quacked Quest releases this November. Isn't this one an Apple Arcade? Nope, it'll be on the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. It's a Munchkin game. But I don't think you can play single player, unfortunately. It's on Steam already. Let's come over here. It does say it has single player, and it is on my following list, so a game based on the Munchkin card game might be interesting. Or it might just be a low effort licensed game. So I wouldn't hold my breath. Let's see. TechRaptor has an article here. All new Pokemon Shield and Sword information. This is probably just the Gigamax information. Here we have another unprofessionally done image of someone that works at TechRaptor. Alright. Are we close to the end? Gamatsu has an article. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown DLC Anchorhead Raid trailer is available if you're interested. It's coming out apparently for the PC, PS4, and something else. Xbox One, I think. TechRaptor has an article. Zombie Army 4 is coming in February along with a novel from iZombie writer, which I don't know if the comic book iZombie was particularly good or not. I watched all of the TV series and it went in a bunch of different directions near the end. And the TV series itself was pretty much just a murder mystery every week. Cat Lady is on Steam, not to be confused with The Cat Lady, which is a twin stick shooter looking game, kind of like Binding of Isaac roguelike. Put it on the follow list. We'll see how people like it. It's early access, $9.99. And I think we've got too many games at this point, so I'm going to skip all the links to Steam links and only talk about news, and then I may curate the games that are left for Monday. OpenCritic has a article here. The Mortal Kombat Halloween event begins next week. If you're playing Mortal Kombat 11, which again, I don't think too many people are. Let's see. TechRaptor has an article here. Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is coming to Stadia. This would be about the time that I would start to think of purchasing Shadow of the Tomb Raider so I can finish the Tomb Raider reboot. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say there. This is not a video game news. TechRaptor is giving away a game here. Nintendo Switch Puzzler Billy Bomber giveaway. It looks like a very terrible game. Let's see. Skipping that. TechRaptor has the review for Ghostbusters, the video game remastered. Let's see what they have to say about it. I imagine they'll give it somewhere around the 7.5. I imagine it's just a remastered version of the old game. They gave it a 6.0. Interesting. Well, it hasn't aged gracefully. Ghostbusters, the video game remastered, is still a fun time. Crappy AI aside, the combat puzzles and collectibles make it worth playing. Pros, it feels and sounds like Ghostbusters. It's satisfying third person ghost capturing and loads of fun collectible hunter. The cons are broken friendly AI and poorly designed segments, which that was always the case with the game. So that's kind of a great example of a game that's not super old. Ghostbusters video game, maybe 10 years old, maybe even less than that. And how this would have been a game that probably got an 8, if not an 8.5 or even 9 when it first came out. And now it's down to a 6 just because of how standards have increased. Let's see. Almost done here. Skipping all of the games that came out on Steam. Yep. This is good though to have games left over, because that means Monday we can actually talk about something, assuming the week is incredibly slow. Gamatsu has an article here. The otome visual novel Cho no Doku Hana no Kusari Taisho Tsuya Koi Ibun is coming to the Switch in 2020. This seems to be more of a historical visual novel game, if I was to guess. Yeah, I can't really translate too much here. Cho is probably a name, and then if he's a Doku Hana, I don't know what that is, and I don't know what Kusari would be. So yeah, I can't translate it any more than that, and I don't know if I translated that much even right. TechRaptor has an article here. Six Temples private beta is coming October 25th. Six Temples is a non-stop online multiplayer madness, or at least that's what it claims it's going to be. Looks like it might be a player versus player game. Doesn't look particularly interesting. Yeah, I don't think a player versus player MMO will ever really succeed. They also have an article here talking about that game Alchemy Garden. It's coming to early access next week. TechRaptor really has just boiled down into advertisements now of indie small games, which is still better than advertisements for AAA games. See. Let's see. I signed up for the pre-registration on Google Android for this. Legends of Runeterra is a newly announced card game set in the League of Legends world. So I'll check it out as soon as I get access to the beta or whatever. And see if maybe I would want to jump from Magic Arena to that. I doubt that very much. But it is something to consider. And going forward, any card game that even has a chance of being successful, I probably should bundle. I probably should pre-register and get into the beta. I asked in the last recording if the game Catherine Classic on Steam was available for purchase or if it was just available via the Humble Bundle store. It is available for purchase. I did the research. As far as other Humble Bundles here, they're all the same old ones. So seems like we won't see any new bundles for at least 2 days, probably 10 days. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not until the next month. And then that leaves me just with Twitter. And since it's Friday, I guess we'll mention some things here. On my Twitter, we have U.S. legislators condemn actions against Hearthstone Pro in a letter to Activision Blizzard CEO. As China amplifies its campaign of imitation, you and your company must decide whether you to look beyond the bottom line and promote American values. So there's a Gamma Sutra article if you want to read more. So the Activision Blizzard controversies will not go away. I think it will last. The question is if it lasts like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, how long does it have to last before a company potentially just falls completely out of business? Can you legitimately suspect that Activision Blizzard would start trading below $1 in its stocks? Could it open itself up to a hostile takeover? That's kind of the only way you could get change if the internal management doesn't want to change anything. And in the end, even if it did open itself up for a hostile takeover, who's to say that Tencent isn't the company that sweeps in and takes over Activision Blizzard by buying more shares? Tencent very possibly could come out on top by purchasing more shares and owning more of Activision Blizzard in the long run, instead of like the only way you could buy out those shares would be pretty difficult to do that. There's not an easy legal way that I know of to stop a company from investing in your company without just buying their shares out completely. And even then, if people don't want to sell their shares, it's almost impossible to get it taken away via court action. Let's see. Here's a story. Big Moon Entertainment has been acquired by World War Z developer Saber Interactive. I don't think we need to say anything more there. That's a Gamma Sutra article. See if there's any other bits of things. Trails of Cold Steel 3 seems like it's getting close to being released. Humble Monthly is likely rebooting as Humble Choice later this year. OpenCritic has an article here. Open Games past stats, subscribers are buying more games and playing more genres than they did before. Apparently Fear came out like 25 years ago? Really? Or Monolith Games is 25 years old? That seems like that can't be right. Let's see, Unity is raising its Pro and Plus prices for new subscriptions in 2020. So people using Unity are going to have to pay more. See if we've got any other bits of news that need to be mentioned. I really wish the music was playing in the background. I may have to make a key, like a shortcut key that just starts audio playing as a background, because this is really silent, and I don't need people to be able to hear me awkwardly shifting in my chair or my computer overheating because the fan's going too high. I hear Children of Morta may be really good as a roguelike. That's interesting. Nice to hear. Always nice to hear when a game is good and successful. We didn't get anybody on the chat today. That's seems like we're still having the same problem on Fridays when nobody wants to watch the streams. Although, in all fairness, I did start later than I had been streaming. Of course, very possibly I may go back to streaming late in the evening, or 3 and 4 in the afternoon. Just depends on how my insomnia works itself out and decides when I want to wake up, or when my body wants me to wake up. Like I have long since admitted I have no control over it. I think we are at the point though where I've scrolled down to where we started. Yeah. So we should be good. So that's going to be it for this stream. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.